Yo, Blackbeard might have been the first like pirate back in the real days to have Conqueror's hockey. Cause like that was some serious Conqueror's hockey right there. People like saw the flag and folded.
Some markets popped up selling.
Yo, what's up, guys? And today we're gonna be watching a video by Historically. That time pirates started a country. Y'all remember that? Were y'all here for that? I'm just kidding. No, but did y'all learn about that? I definitely remember that. The golden age of piracy. Gold Roger, king of the pirates.
Quick, leave your stupid farmer job and become a privateer, so we make sure France doesn't become a global superpower.
Oh yeah, it was One Piece Day the other day too. I feel like there's so much to say before this video though. Nah, it was the first day that the anime aired. It was a couple days ago on the 20th. It was lit. Or was it yesterday? Was it the 21st? I think it was the 20th, right? Regardless. Shout out to all my One Piece fans, bro. All the One Piece nakama. But with that being said, let's get into it. The Great Pirate Era. Wealth, fame, power.
Alright, thanks guys.
Alright, we're running all the way.
Quick, leave your stupid farmer job and become a privateer, so we make sure France doesn't become a global superpower. Alright, thanks guys. The War of the Spanish Succession is over. Well, I suppose that I gotta thank you somehow. You're fired.
Go to jail.
Get out of my office.
Crazy.
Well, that sucks. What are we supposed to do with all these warships, cannons, and not vitamin C's that we bought ourselves?
I'm about to turn off the...
We
I'm turning this
could
off.
start our own pirate republic on the strategically placed island of Nassau. Yes, let's do it. And so,
Okay, this
over
thing is rapidly moving
1500
in the
battle-hardened
back. I don't like
Spanish
that.
and now British-hating lads sailed across the globe ready to claim their new hangout spot. And they quite literally just
cool.
claimed it.
Alright, let's turn
The
it back.
strategically placed island of Nassau.
Nassau.
Let's do it. And so, over
that's like the,
1500
that's
battle-hardened Spanish
what Blackbeard's
and now
island is,
British-hating lads sailed across the globe
modeled
ready to
after, I
claim
would
their
have to
new
imagine.
hangout spot. And they quite literally just claimed it, even
excuse
though
me.
it's one of the most strategically important spots in the Atlantic. Let's talk about that for a bit. And hi, my name is Pirate Oliver. I like pirates.
They gotta send somebody to come and take
Historically
it.
Facts, Part 12. Alright, so how did this pirate country start? Well, the year is 1666. 35 years before the War of the Spanish Succession.
Crazy.
Or rather, the war about which powerful family gets to own Spain and its territories. Which was a
Habsburg.
lot. It was a time of peace, international friendship, and who am I kidding? Every major power was 24/7 raiding each other's colonies and ships.
Yeah, they were
One
just
day,
running
in
it.
1666, a young Brit almost banks his ship on the shallow shores of a very conveniently positioned island.
Yo.
He names it, very patriotically, Charlestown,
Charlestown.
named after the King of England. Charles
Oh, okay.
I? Odd name.
I thought he named
starts
it after
gathering his
himself.
friends, and slowly and surely, they build a fort. A small town to make
Okay.
it
I
truly
already know this
Charlestown
story,
and not
but
Charles
it's cool to
Road,
hear it again.
and start to trade with the nearby locals. It's a
Hey,
nice,
okay.
cute little colonial community. Shame I'm going to burn it down, says
Oh,
the
nah,
Spanish
bro.
admiral in 1684.
Because that's in the
and
Bahamas, isn't
he
it?
did. The whole town was turned to charcoal, and the colonists were bullied off the island. But just like cockroaches, the British popped up again. And to throw
Oh
the
my
Spanish
gosh.
off, this time they named the island Nassau, named after the
Nassau.
recently appointed Protestant King of England, William III. I don't get it. William
What?
was part of the Nassau family, that's why it's called Nassau. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that makes sense.
That's what I
The
figured. I
British
was like, yeah,
rebuilt
what's
the
his last name?
island, slapped a fancy, stronger fort on top, and audibly laughed
Okay.
at the Spanish every time they tried to take the island. Fast forward to the 1700s, and we are now in the early stages of the War of the
Okay.
Spanish Succession. England
Okay.
is still laughing at Spain's attempt to reclaim the island, but then Big Bro jumps in to help Spain.
Big Bro.
The island gets flattened a second time. This time,
Crazy.
they made sure to spray French artifacts everywhere. You know, so
Croissants.
those annoying Brits wouldn't return.
Croissant.
With the whole island flattened again, it
Hit him with
became
hit him
a
where it
battle.
hurts, I guess.
Technically, it was under British rule, but in practice, there was no government.
Hey, you know the
no
weight of their
defense.
heart. Weight of a man's heart is through his stomach, they say. Launching those croissants might not be a bad play.
And no law. Just a beautiful port, empty buildings, and broken walls.
Why does it keep doing
Don't
that?
mind me, I'm just selling rum. Oh, Oh no.
Oh, are you?
Run!
Why is it?
Ever heard of Blackbeard? How about Jack Rackham?
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, Jack Rackham.
Maybe Charles
Let's go
Vane.
480.
All these
How about
pirate
that?
legends had their pirate careers from Nassau.
Benjamin
Hell, even the
Hornigold.
most known pirate flag is from Nassau itself. But just like a crew needs a captain, Nassau needed a pirate governor. Meet, and I'm not
Who is
making
it?
this name up,
Who is it?
Benjamin Hornigold.
Yeah, it
you
is Benjamin
couldn't get a more
Hornigold,
piratey
yeah.
name even if you tried. As a privateer turned pirate, he looked at the chaos.
That sounds like a
unfolding
fake
on the
name,
island
even though
and
it's
said,
not.
All right, enough is enough.
It
If you want
sounds
this all to work
crafted.
out, we need to put
Like
some
if this
rules
was
on
during
ground.
the internet
He gathers
age,
the captains, tells
and he
them
wanted
to,
to
put the
make a
swords
pirate
down and to stop
username.
headbutting of a Woos parrot is actually cooler, and finally start building what would become the world's first accidentally democratic pirate commune. And the
Yeah.
pirates? They listened.
Accidentally
Effectively,
democratic. That's
Hornigold
crazy.
forged himself into becoming the first president of the Pirate Republic.
First
His
president?
first act as president was to enforce
Nah,
rules.
he wasn't a president.
For example, from now on, crews voted for their captains.
Bad versus
no longer
worse
the
is
loudest
crazy.
guy gets to automatically be the leader. Another big
Mm.
reform was that loot was now to be shared fairly. And most reforming
Mm.
of them all, if you lost, for example, a leg during battle, you got compensated for the work hazard. But
Mm.
Hornigold, for all his pirateness, had one very weird quirk. He refused to attack English ships. And like, he would happily rob a Spanish galleon blind, torch a
Mm.
French sloop, and pants a Dutch merchant captain in broad daylight. But if you were flying the Union Jack, he would tip his hat and say, "Cheerio, mate." Which
Crazy.
was a little awkward, considering the entire point of Nassau was just taking it to the British Empire.
Crazy,
after
'cause his
running the
pockets
pirate
got
country
lined up
for 3 years,
by the-
pirates
by the
voted
home
for
state.
a different president. And he was
Yeah.
succeeded by none other
Yeah.
than his spooky bearded apprentice, Edward
Blackbeard.
Teach,
Or
aka
Edward Thatch,
Blackbeard.
yeah.
Blackbeard
Mhm.
wasn't interested in building a republic.
Teach,
He was
boy.
building a brand. He lit
A
fuses
brand.
in his beard, strapped pistols across his chest, and draped himself in black like a pirate in Batman. Okay, show off, you might think.
Hey.
But this
People could say what they want about Blackbeard. He had some drip. I'm not gonna lie. He had some drip in this animation right here, bro. He had drip. Terrible person though.
whole brand building was actually genius. The stories of him and his crew became known all across the Atlantic. Everyone
They
was
started
afraid of
yapping
the
and
pirate
capping,
mania.
boy. They were
Merchant
capping.
ships surrendered the moment they saw his flag, practically donating the loot. Nassau flourished under Blackbeard's rule. The harbor filled with ships.
That was like, yo, Blackbeard might have been the first like pirate back in like the real days to have Conqueror's hockey, cause like that was some serious Conqueror's hockey right there. People like saw the flag and folded.
Some markets popped up selling
Yo.
stolen cargo, bad rum, and maybe one or two cursed
Crazy,
objects.
bro.
Pirates of all flags poured into Nassau. British,
Crazy.
Irish, American, Afro-Caribbean, even a few confused Scandinavians. Nassau had become the Las Vegas of the Atlantic. No rules, no kings, and definitely no taxes. Cool, said Blackbeard during his third year as
It's like
president.
Florida.
Anyway, I'm bored. So he sailed north, made deals, blockaded entire ports, and left the Republic in somewhat capable hands? Well, not more capable than the sponsor of this video, Quillbot.
I thought he.
I like writing
I
about
thought he
pirates.
left it in the hands
Well,
of
there's
AI. I
others
was
there
like,
too,
yo,
but
Blackbeard
grammar
had
is
AI
hard,
back then,
man.
bro.
Especially because I'm Dutch, so I'm pure. It also there's a free version, basically. Just click the link in Blackbeard, global president of the Pirate Republic.
Wait, what is
Anyway,
Quillbot?
Meet the third and most radical president of the Pirate
No
Republic,
need to worry about it.
Charles Vane.
Charles
Imagine
Vane.
if anger had a body, yeah, that was Charles Vane. While Hornigold was the rule maker and Blackbeard was the
Yikes.
showman, Vane was the edgelord extremist. He believed the only good British ship was a burning one, and diplomacy was for cowards and poets. Cool. No wait, not cool. In 1718, the year when Vane got president, there was a massive influx of pirate settlers due to the massive layoffs in the European countries. Everyone went to Nassau, which the King of England, Willem III, started to notice due to literally every ship sailing towards America.
Just dipping, bro. Crazy.
Salutations! Yar, ya scallywag. Where are you sailing to? Cringe? How dare you address your king like... where are we sailing off to, matey? Haven't you heard? Nassau has become the place for all the privateers who got laid off. We're going to start our own pirate country with blackjack and cookers. The king can stick it up his arse for having us fight all this time for his country, just to fire us the day after. Oh, I see.
Yo, that's like, yo, hold on. Not gonna lie to you. That's similar to the modern day. With a lot of things going on in like the, a lot of tech industries and like other industries, especially the gaming industry with all the layoffs and stuff like that. It's about to be the great pirate era in the gaming industry, bro. But to have Gold Roger for real.
All right, thank you.
Boy,
hey,
watch out.
How's that for up your arse, huh? Now that the teacher knows about their cool hideout, the Nassau boys were getting a bit anxious. Sure, they can plunder a merchant ship or two, but the royal army? That's not an easy fight. Worst yet, more and more warships started to appear on the horizon, and leading those ships was Woods Rogers. But before we get to him, let's check in with our pirate president Charles Vane, who was, at this point, having a little moment. See, Charles wasn't much of a surrender guy, or a talking guy, or a not burning things guy.
He was not a yapper.
Woods Rogers politely sailed into Nassau and asked,
about that
"Hey
action.
lads, maybe stop being criminals?" Vane responded by lighting his ship in the harbor on fire and sending it straight at him.
Yeah, crazy.
Is this our plan? It wasn't.
Crazy,
but Charles thought
bro.
it was. But Charles thinks a lot of things, to be honest. One guy especially not loving the flaming ship as diplomacy approach was Charles's quartermaster, a guy named Jack Rackham. You might know him
Jack
better as
Rackham.
Jack,
That sounds like
named
Duke
after his
Nukem.
favorite fabric
I
and
wonder
least
if that was
favorite
like
survival instincts.
titled
Jack had
after.
been Vane's right-hand man for months now. He'd seen the screaming, he'd
You
seen
got
the
drip on
fire,
though.
he'd seen
That
the
paint?
moment Charles tried to headbutt a seagull for looking at him wrong, and Jack, credit where it's due, had his concerns. Sure,
Bad
Charles started out as a fiery, brutal pirate, inspiring others, and probably got to be president because of that. But recently, he was off. For example, a couple months prior, they were on this massive warship of theirs, and about to plunder a teeny-tiny French merchant ship, which they absolutely could have taken. Charles made the call to back off due to the risks of losing. That's not very captain-y-like. He also got his ass whooped by a lesser drunk, damaging his reputation yet again. And now finally, while a literal firing squad is on the horizon, ready to hang each and every pirate, instead of bargaining for the safety of the island's troublemakers, he basically declared war on them. New vote, new vote. And just like that, Charles Vane was out. And his extra flamboyant sidekick was in. Meet the fourth and final president of the Pirate Republic. And the pirates couldn't have chosen a better president. Jack was an insanely skilled war general. He was so good, in fact, that modern historians compare him to legends like Hannibal and Alexander the Great. Jack called the pirates together, set up a combat plan, and absolutely crushed Woods Rogers and his fleet. There were only 1,500 pirates on the island, but they could shoot really well, I tell you. Then, feeling ambitious, the pirates sailed and laid siege to England. Even though they were outnumbered by 1 to 1,000, they destroyed the British defenses and captured England, effectively renaming it to the United Pirate Kingdom. Then, after stumbling into Oppenheimer and Heisenberg at the same time, who just finished their nuclear bomb...
Nah, this is cap. What is he talking about?
They threw it on Spain and France, and everyone died. The end.
He's talking. He's just yapping.
This isn't an alternative history video. Let's rewind a bit. And he liked tomboys, which isn't just a throwaway joke. It's historically accurate. See, Jack Rackham fell in love with Anne Bonny, who was a female pirate who, due to sexism on the work floor, disguised herself as a man. And later Jack also fell in love with Anne's bestie, Mary Red, who also disguised herself as a man. Both of them carried swords. Both of them could absolutely destroy you in a bar fight, and both of them, for some unfathomable reason, liked Jack back. It was an unfathomable reason because Jack was probably the worst pirate that ever existed. He put all his skill points in charisma and zero in leadership and war tactics. He couldn't fight on...
I thought he had war tactics. Wasn't that what he said? Well, they said that about the last bro.
And only preyed on smaller merchant ships. And you best bet your ass that he could in no way, shape or form beat Woods Rogers and his royal backing. If Rogers wanted to, he could have at any time signaled his fleet to attack, and without a shiver of doubt, killed each pirate on the island. But Rogers was sympathetic. He was a privateer himself during the Spanish Succession War, and he himself was a victim of corporate downsizing.
Gold Roger.
During the war, he led one of the most successful privateering expeditions in British history. He circumnavigated the globe, captured Spanish treasure ships, and came home to parades and praise. Naturally, the government thanked him by the only way it knew how. Instead of firing him, they forgot about him and let him go bankrupt. He sank all his money into the war effort, didn't get reimbursed properly, and ended up in debtor's prison for a bit. But then, in classic Empire logic, the British were like, "Hey Woods, remember that pirate problem we ignored for a decade? Wanna go fix it?" And Rogers said, "Sure, can I have my money back?" The British said no, but if you can get rid of them, you can be the governor. May you drown in teacup. Alright, fine, I'll do it. Long story short, Rogers knew how it feels to be betrayed by the same country you fought 12 years for, and understood why his war comrades turned to piracy in the times of need. So, he sent them an ultimatum. If you surrender, we will pardon you of any crime you've committed, basically allowing you to start with a clean slate. However, if you don't, you'll know what happened. And our fourth president, Jack Rackham, he felt like he just hit the net 20 roll on that charisma check. What a lucky escape. And so, Calico Jack, pirate president and certified tomboy enthusiast, stood before Woods Rogers and said, "Absolutely, sir. Thank you, sir. Piracy? Never heard of it, sir." He took the pardon, signed his name, posed dramatically, probably blew a kiss, and promised to
never heard of it, sir.
Ship again.
That's crazy.
2 months later, he stole a sloop from Nassau's own harbor and went straight back to pirating, like the wool pardon thing had just been a dream.
Crazy.
Bless Rogers' heart, but we're talking about pirates here. They were once esteemed privateers, but after more than 10 years on a pirate island, you will slowly develop a "frick you, I do what I want" mentality. Anyway, after Jack and many others in July of 1718 accepted the pardon, the Pirate Republic of Nassau was officially dead. Playtime's over, lads. Go home to your wife and kids. We left for bloody 12 years.
They're dead.
But now comes the fun part. What happened to our main characters? Did they all take the deal? Or did some, Charles Vane, flip them off and continue pirating? Well, let's go down the list, shall we?
Charles he got the stick in his hand in the photo too. That's so great. He's the only one that's up in the stick in his wanted poster.
Pirating.
Crazy.
Well, let's go down the list, shall we? Charles Vane did not take the deal at all. In fact,
of course he didn't, bro. Bro was up in the stick in the wanted poster.
"I would rather die a pirate than live like a servant."
That's valid.
Words for a man who would shortly after be abandoned by his own crew. Yeah, after a series of bad calls and even worse luck, Vane lost his ship, lost his men, and got captured. He was shipped back to Jamaica, where the government gave him exactly what he asked for: death. They hanged him in 1721. He died as he lived, angrily. Blackbeard also did not take the pardon. But
yeah, Blackbeard got clapped though.
He kept raiding ships of the Carolinas, made shady deals with corrupt governors, and even threw a retirement party for himself at one point. It didn't help. The British Navy eventually caught up with him. In 1718, he was ambushed and killed in a brutal battle.
Yeah, they did him dirt.
It reportedly took 5 bullets and over 20 sword wounds to bring him down. And then they chopped off his head and hung it from the bow of their ship. You know, for vibes. Horny gold?
That was for aura. They were aura farming. Hanging his head on the ship is aura farming.
He did take the pardon. Not only that, but he switched sides. Hornigold went from pirate president to pirate hunter. He spent the last years of his life capturing his former friends and delivering them to the British. I guess karma took that somewhat personal, because not much later he died in a shipwreck in 1719. Yikes. Jack Rackham? We already know how that went. He got pardoned, then pirated again, and surprise surprise, then got captured. His execution wasn't exactly cinematic. He was caught drunk, tried by court, and hanged like an amateur. But let's talk about the real stars. Anne Bonny and Mary Red.
Did they try to rescue
him?
They
fought like hell when the British came. Legend says they were the only 2 crew members still on their feet when the ship was boarded. Jack was passed out drunk. They were furious.
Hey, they rode hard for him, though. That's a W. They rode hard for him.
Were both captured and sentenced to hang, but both pleaded the belly, claimed to be pregnant. It worked for Anne, and she got out scot-free, but not for Mary, who died in prison. Anne disappeared from the records. Some say she died shortly.
I think I remember. I feel like I remember this in Assassin's Creed Black Flag or something. I want to replay that. I might replay that later for the for some gaming content. Replay Black Flag because I don't even think I ever finished. Did I finish it? Nah, I did. I was playing it with my brother, I think.
After, some say she lived a quiet life. Some say she disguised herself again and became a tree this time.
And
Nassau was cleaned up, fortified, and turned into a proper colony under Woodes Rogers. The fort was rebuilt, the pirates were gone, and over time, the Republic faded into legend.
Bye-bye.
Like pirates.
Hey, shout out to Blackbeard getting aura farmed on this ship. That's so crazy, bro. But hey, that's gonna be it for this video. If y'all liked it, go ahead and leave a comment down below, leave a like, and you know you gotta hit that subscribe button. Also subscribe to Historically because his videos are fire. So, you know, shout out to One Piece Day, all my One Piece fans representing the chat, and let's go ahead and get out of here. I'll catch you later. Bye.